Oh, blimey. Forgot to turn the picture on. That's not going to help. Hey, everybody. How are you? Organise my collar there. Marvellous. Hello, everybody. Or anybody. At the moment, it says no people at all. So there we go. All right, Pop. Welcome to Ask Karl G, episode 6. Is it episode 6? Maybe it's episode 7. Yes. Might have been episode 6 yesterday. Anyway, I'm not sure. So, hello everybody. How are you? Let's just see what's going on here. In fact, no, I just had a little thought then. I'm not going to do it. So, I've been very busy today. It's been a lovely day. Again, I've been shut in. Good evening, Diane. Once again, I've been shut in doing computer. Hello. Hello. Yeah, a bit of that. Do you want to just show off to everybody how beautiful you are? Oh, hello. Yes, that's right. You fling that all over the place. Yeah, you like that. Yes, because if you jump on this laptop, it will just flatten. Okay, come on, you. Oh, he's found some attention now. Anyway, are you going to eat something and be quiet? No, he's not. If anyone owns a parrot, they know he's not going to eat anything and be quiet. So, yes, I've been inside most of this beautiful day, working on the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course, which is going to be released on Monday. We've done all the beta testing that we're going to do. In fact, we've been beta testing for 6 months. You need to stop biting my fingers. Because I'm not paying attention to you. Bye. Yes, I've been working on the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course, which is an online 3-month course answering all the objections that everybody's come up with over the years on the Rider Confidence course as to why they aren't getting on with their horses. And ultimately, it comes down to you haven't got the mental strategies, or you suffer from depression, or you haven't got the correct self-image, or you haven't got the money, or you haven't got the time, or you haven't got the knowledge, or everything that people have come up with as objections as to why other people can do the work on their horse, but they can't. It's been a fantastic course during the beta group. I thoroughly enjoyed working out how I'm going to release this. So anyway, all the beta testing is done. I'm happy with the course. It's going to be released on Monday. Chris Lefebvre is doing a fantastic job of organising all the advertising and computer side of it. So yes, we're very happy, aren't we? Super happy. That's how happy we are. But yes, it's a lot of work. I've got last little introductory video to do, and that's it, and it's ready to rock. So watch out for that on Monday. That's going to be released. And yeah, thank you for dragging me out here on this beautiful day. But yes, people come to the Rider Confidence course wanting this magic wand. Poppy, say goodbye. Yeah, because I can't do the broadcast if you're doing this. I can't do the broadcast if you're doing this. No, I can't. Right. 2 minutes. Yes, you lost your outside lights. Yes, you have. There we are. A little insight into my home life. That's how my days go. So, yes, about 12 years ago, I've got a little story for you now. About 12 years ago, I did some work. Never work with children and animals, my dad said. Well, it wasn't exactly what he said. His exact word, son, never work. Well, I took it to mean with children and animals. So anyway, 12 years ago, I did some work. I've told this story before. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? I did some work. Let me just show off a second. Now, let me just go on to share screen. I'm just going to show off, okay? So, share screen. Yeah, I'm going to share that screen there. Yeah, that's the one I'm going to share. And let me just go down here and show off a bit. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. What a superstar. That's me. I'm the one on the top, in case you can't recognize it. And then there's Niagara and Castizo and Jupiter and Teak at a show doing one of the tricks that I do. So obviously there, I look pretty confident. You say my riding position is possibly the most awful riding position that you've ever seen. But nonetheless, I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to confidence on horses. So I think that's fairly clear that I'm confident. But 12 years ago, when I was starting this trick, I wasn't confident at all. So how do we get to a position of being confident out of being not confident? And the answer was what I started the story with. 12 years ago, I did some work. To do that trick, obviously, you start off on 2 horses. And it's pretty difficult, especially if the horses don't do it, And that's the position I found myself in 12 years ago. I had a job at the Somerset Cider Brandy Company, and we started work at 8:30. So if I was to make any headway in this Roman riding at all, then I had to get up at 5:30, have a cup of tea, get myself down the stables for 6 o'clock, get the horses sorted out and tacked up. I could spend half an hour going round at a walk if I could. Before that, I had to lunge them together for half an hour. So remember, the horses wouldn't always go forwards. I mean, they're next to each other now, but in those days, you couldn't even get them to stand next to each other before one of them would face the other way, or one would slow down, or one would speed up, or one would go out, or one would come in, or they'd fight, or they'd just be going forward and one would stop. So that took every day. And I do my half an hour, which means I finish at 7 o'clock, come back for 7:30, have my breakfast ready to start work at 8. It took me probably 6 months. The fact that I did that work 12 years ago means that I'm now sitting here showing off, showing that photo and going, this is part of my work, this is what I do now, and aren't I confident? The answer is still no. Confident of that. I was in the picture. Of course, I'm not now. We've just had lockdown. So I've had a winter of not doing the Roman Ride 4, and then I've had a whole summer of not doing the Roman Ride 4, and we're going to enter another winter of not doing the Roman Ride 4 as well. So if we get our next show, I know that I will have skill fade. I know that will be an unfamiliar. I'll have forgotten all the little knickknacks that keep it all in control, and I'll have to get my head around it again. And we're talking probably 2-3 months of work, starting in bite sizes for myself, even now. So the confidence that I will have, that I did have, that I shall have again in doing that trick came from doing the work. There's no good turning around saying, oh, you're all confident, aren't you? The confidence came from doing the work, from doing that. And I'm going on about it. Here I am, 12 years later, going on that 12 years ago, I did the effort and made the work. And the motivation originally came from my goals. I would love to do this, I would love to do that. But as I started and the goals seemed to flip further and further away, and it seemed less and less likely because the horses wouldn't even go next to each other at a walk, and one would turn around and go back the other way, and it was all a complete mess. And they were falling through the fence and squashing each other on the corners and fighting, and I was tired and it was rainy, and then my confidence came from the little successes and acknowledging the little successes. So when they did stand next to each other. And at one point, we just got them to stand next to each other till they were bored, and then got them to move on. So if I hadn't taken notice of those little successes, my motivation would have disappeared. Then would I have done the work? Then would I ever have got to a position of being confident? Do the work. Do the work. People come to the Rider Confidence course wanting to be given a magic wand. A magic wand of NLP and hypnotherapy, and they'll get on the stunt horses and they'll do rearing, and this magic wand will send them off all confident and motivated. And they're absolutely right, except they've missed a step. Can you guess what that step is? You will get NLP and conversational hypnosis throughout the day, and you will get hypnotherapy at the end of the session that will equip you to do the work. Do the work. Written down some of the things that we need to do the work about. So we need to do the work to train your horse, desensitize your horse, get it used to everything. Possibly that means getting up at 5:30 in the morning. We need to do the work to work on our goals that will give us the motivation to even begin, perhaps after 10 or 20 years of trying and not getting very far. We need to do the work to train our horse. We also need to do the work to train ourselves so that we become somebody that we can rely on to give the horse manners, so the horse becomes a well-behaved horse in the wind and the rain. We also have to rely on ourselves to do the work to make up a plan so that we're not going out in the wind and the rain on day 2, but perhaps we'll work up to it by going out on not so perfect days, or perhaps going out in the wind and the rain and long raining, and breaking it down into little bite sizes. How do you break it down into little bite sizes? By doing the work, by sitting down with a bit of paper and writing down your goal, and then your lesson plans, and then how you're going to break that down into bite sizes, all the time working with our primitive minds, which have a fight and flight reaction that has the processing power of a 7-year-old. So your bite sizes need to be in the size that a 7-year-old can cope with. You also need to do the work with your thinking, that you're not constantly looking for the negative, that when you read my book and it says change the what ifs into the if thens, you don't just read the sentence and then ignore it, but go, right, okay, change the what ifs into the if thens. If the horse starts to look like it's going to spook, then I'm going to give it something to think about. I'm going to say, get on. I'm going to get on, and we're going to do the most perfect trot from this gate to that tree. And I'm going to intensely focus on it with a laser focus that doesn't let any other thought come into my mind. I'm going to go and do that work. We're also going to do the work mentally when we want to slip into those old cliches, when it's far easier to go, when you're getting on your horse, and to say to your friends that you're weak and you're inflexible, and go, oh, my fat ass, I'm lucky I can mount, sorry horse, it's me again. Well, maybe resting in those easy cliches isn't the best for your own for your own personal development, and maybe you only do it because that's the flavor of the conversations that you have with that particular friend. So maybe you have to do the work to separate yourself from the people who have been talking in this negative way, because you become like the 5 closest people to you. So if you're sitting with people who are always negative and talking about the accidents, the incidents, and the negative aspect of horses, you are going to end up as somebody doing that. Well, that's a lot of work. I had one lady, and I've got some things on the Rider Confidence course which helps. The opposite of success is learning, choosing your right bite sizes, and having a goal. And this one lady said, oh, yeah, I know all this. You said, but who can be bothered? I've lived with depression for 20 years. I know I should think positive, but who can be bothered? And we're there again. Do the work. Or don't do the work. It's also fine. It's also fine. You can also not do the work. In which case, don't complain. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Don't do the work. Have a horse that you can't get on. I don't mind. As long as you're happy. If you're happy with a field ornament, have a field ornament. The thing is, people put pressure on themselves from everybody else going, are you cantering yet? Are you jumping yet? Are you hacking yet? Why have you got it? You may have to do the work to separate yourself from them as well. So during the Rider Confidence Day, if people come up and we say about how the frame of reference in which the leisure industry, some people like to work, is all doom and gloom, and the magazines are constantly full of what's going wrong, and in a way that other magazines aren't. Top Gear has never had a section going, we test the 10 best seatbelts of 2020. It just doesn't. So you may have to do the work to not read those magazines. You may have to do the work to find a more positive Facebook group. Mine is a shining example that I don't recommend. But it's not the only one. There are positive groups out there. You may have to do the work so that when you hear a negative story, that you see through it to the other side. You may have to do the work to not exaggerate things that have happened to you. This is a lot of mental work. I hope you're feeling tired already. So we have this frame of reference where it's all possible. Let's just start right. It's all possible. It's all possible for you. And it doesn't matter where your confidence is, where your accomplishments are, where your achievements are, where your ability is. None of that matters, because all of that can be built up in little bite-sized pieces, just like taking a lesson in anything. Doesn't matter. As long as you know that A, it's all possible, and B, it's all possible for you. If you do those bite sizes. If you don't want to do them, that's fine, in which case it's not possible. I suddenly remembered the first time I had to go on a motorbike. The only time I had to go on a motorbike. I just got on, because how hard could it be? Lived in the middle of nowhere. There was definitely not going to be any traffic. You can already see how this story is going. Yeah, I'll drive down to the pub and then you can drive it back again. Went round a corner. The motorbike slewed right out, far more than I could deal with. It was a big, heavy machine. I shouldn't have been on it. And of course, there was a car coming round the corner. Missed it by that much. And then spent the night, nearly killed myself. I see people do the same thing on horses and act as if it's normal. I've seen people unload a new horse, put it away, and the next day get on it to see what it. Let's see what it does. Are you hacking yet? Is it good on a hack? We'll find out. And sure enough, they do find out. To me, that's the same reckless behaviour as what I showed when I was a stupid young man nearly killing myself on a motorbike. You don't just pull your brave pants on and have a go. We're not brave. I'm not brave. I just proved it with the motorbike story. It's a bit stupid sometimes, but not brave. Never pull on my brave pants. And some people are surrounded by people saying, that horse is all right. You can do that. You just want to pull on your brave pants and go. No, 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 no. I've never pulled on my brave pants. I'm not a brave person. I'm trained. I'm trained in little bite sizes. So as people come up and we start talking that it's all possible and it's possible for you and it's everybody else, and you need to do the work and you need to train your horse and you need to um, train yourself and train your thinking. Go to the work of positive thinking. Don't mix with the other people who are going to insist on the negativity. Don't read that. Listen to what you're saying, listen to what they're saying. And honestly, you see them go through the day as this constant attitude that it's all possible and it's all fine comes through, and you see them do that, just what I did. That I'm talking away, and you can see them going. It's like, "Oh, he's going, she's going," and you see them turn. The ones that don't turn, of course, are the ones that don't want a magic wand to make them work better, a magic wand to take responsibility, a magic wand to not pretend that it's circumstances outside of your control. Well, what can you do? Smell the adrenaline. They can smell the adrenaline. There's nothing I can do about that, is there? They can feel me tremble. There's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, therefore you don't have to do the work. It's fine to tremble and work your horse. You're saying that nobody was ever cold and rode a horse. You're saying people with Parkinson's shouldn't be allowed horses because they wouldn't be able to. Of course they could. Of course you can tremble and still ride a horse. But they get this magic one. The people who don't transform during the rider confidence course are the people. Usually they've had the course bought for them, so they're not invested. But they're the people who are getting given a magic wand to do the work. And if you do the work, because I did the work 12 years ago, I might have started with this. If you do the work in the bite-sized steps, knowing that it's all possible, you've got a long journey, but enjoy the journey. Horses are fun. Enjoying the journey is fun. Long reining in the rain and the wind is fun. You don't have to listen to everybody going, "Oh, you're hacking out yet. You're not hacking out yet. You've been long reining that." I'll long rein a horse until it's ready to go out, until it trusts me, until the horse that 6 months or a year ago turned up going, "Oh, you're going to keep me safe. You're going to keep me safe," is thinking, "You are going to keep me safe because you saved me from all these things, and I'm going to listen to you." Been long reining my way around. So people come to the Rider Confidence course and you see them transform. And as they realize that it's all possible for you, and it doesn't matter where your confidence and your ability is, you just need to do those bite sized steps, do the work, cut off the nonsense, and take to your horse in a workmanlike attitude. And I think one of the things that are stacked against us is the concept that horses are a hobby, they're my leisure time, they're my therapy, they're my relaxation. The horse doesn't know that. These are the same horses that built London. These are the same horses that made us the super beings that we are. We would not be where we are without horses. They gave us the the vision to see when we're sat on their backs, we can see further, the speed to go, and the strength to surpass our own natures. That's horses. They don't know that they're leisure and hobby. They're ready to work, so do the work. And you watch people transform, they're like, yeah, yeah, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. I will transform my thinking. I will not spend my time in a frame of reference of people who are somehow wandering around going that they're going to ride round on the buckle. Who said anything about riding round on the buckle? You're going to ride and do things and achieve, and oh, the places. Suddenly I'm turning into Dr. Zeus, and oh, the places you go, the people you'll meet, the things that you do, the events that you attend, all of that can be yours. And it's a lot of work to change your riding partners, change your circle, sometimes change your livery yard. because sometimes livery yards behave like one big depressed person, and you will never break your way out of it, and you might have to change your livery yard. I've had this story a lot of times. I've told the story of Gus quite a lot of times. I was doing a talk, and a lady said that she'd got a horse called Gus, who was a big bruiser, dense horse. You know, those dense ones that don't even see you and just walk right through you. And she was quite petite. So she'd got this horse and she kept it on the yard that it was on. And she'd got on quite well. And she'd got, she's only 5 foot. And this horse was big, and she'd managed to dominate it, explained to it who's boss, and was getting on very well with this horse. And everybody on the yard was very impressed. They were like, "Oh my God, you're doing so well with that horse. You're doing so well with Gus. Isn't that amazing? She's doing so well with Gus." Because do you remember when he had Harry through that fence? And do you remember when he smashed Natalia into a million pieces? And do you remember when he dragged so and so and barged so and kicked so and so? Got all these stories of what Gus did, until this lady was like, "Oh my God, what?" And she began to lose confidence and not get on the horse. And by the time she came to the course and asked her question, it had been 5 months since she'd got on Gus. What do you suppose the answer to the question was? Move livery yards. Sounds to me like you're the only person with a bit of horse knowledge and horse personship about them. You were absolutely spot on and on the ball, and everybody else started clucking and talking absolute nonsense. So it can be hard to find a new livery yard. Oh my God. First of all, start asking, where's the livery yards around here? What are they like? Start doing your research, start going around and looking at them. That's work. We're getting a certain theme here. I'm super lucky because horses are my work. So it's really easy for me to do the work because it's my work. It's not my leisure time. So I haven't got that hanging over me. But as we realize that we can transform ourselves, transform our horses, transform our lives, change our thinking, change our self identity, change all the objections that we come up to, saying, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I haven't got time." We can change our priorities, we can manage our distractions. It may mean making a timetable, which means sitting down with a piece of paper. Doesn't that sound like work? Do the work, train the horse, train yourself, and you will have a much better time than trying to duck it out and come and get given a magic wand. And you watch people. It's the most fantastic moment as you watch them falling one by one. This lady looked there. I've got this particular one, man. She just pointed at her mouth. It's all that, isn't it? Spot on. It's all that you say about yourself, all that you say to other people about horses, and all that they say back again, affirming that you're right, in a manner that does not happen in any professional sphere at all. Nobody speaks like that in the professional industries. And if anybody should know the dangers or safeties of horses, it's the people who work with them day in and day out. And the mounted police don't talk like that, and the horse logging companies don't talk like that, and the photo shoots and the shows and the jousting shows and the filming shows and the racing and the barge pulling and the draft horses and the dray horses. None of those people speak like that. No one's ever delivered Tetley Bitter around Swindon going, "Do you think they can smell when you're frightened?" No, they just go, "Come on, let's go and deliver this beer." Anyway, there you go. They come, they get transformed, and it is a joy to see. The only sad point or the only shame is that they waited till they were at rock bottom before they decided to sharpen up their abilities and come here and sharpen up their mental outlook. There's a phrase that says, The best time to sharpen a knife is when it's already sharp. And it's so true. If you sharpen a knife when it's sharp, then it never gets blunt. If you wait until it's blunt, what I'm saying is if you wait until you're down, if you wait until you're depressed, if you wait until your mental outlook is not good because you've had a series of learning experiences, I like to call them. I don't call them failures, but they are. And you've had various incidents or even incidents such as winter, a bad winter, and you haven't been on the horse as much as you should, and whatever, and then your confidence goes, then you start trying to sharpen it up, and you're already down. Well, you could sharpen it up now. When things are going well, is the time to listen to positive podcasts, read positive books, address your positive thinking, improve the people you hang out with. It's not luxury. Oh, I'm feeling all right now, so I'm going to read about this accident in Horse and Hound and that disaster, and I will go and spend some time with miserable Dave. No, the best time to sharpen a knife is when it's sharp. Right now, look, we're in summer. It's the best time of year. We are probably feeling a little bit better than we would be in the middle of winter. So now is the time to listen to the podcast, read the books, see the videos, get the motivation, not only in horses, but also in your life. That's how I start my day. I start it by going onto YouTube and watching things that inspire me, people's stories. The books I read are people's stories. There we are. Best time to sharpen a knife is when it's sharp. There we are. Can't remember what got me onto that. Yes, I can. I hope you found this interesting. It is hard work, says Kerry, and it almost felt too much, but it's so worth it. Kerry is one of our kind guinea pigs on the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course. Helped me shape up the course, as did so many other people. I'm so grateful to them, and I think that I think that I could not have chosen a more interesting and helpful in a constructive way. I'm trying to think of a word that encompasses the construction, because the people who attended the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Conference is online. It's 3 months. It was experimental. They went about it in such a workmanship way, Kerry and everybody else, and built it. They built it. So everybody who hasn't been on the Mounted Division Ultimate Rider Confidence course, if you're interested, it will be released on Monday. You can join it then. It's got its own supportive Facebook group that, and we'll explain all about it on Monday. But it's been built by myself and a team of people just like you who have had the most fantastic results. Anyway, this wasn't supposed to be a sales pitch for my new course. I hope you found it all interesting. Let's have a little look. Oh gosh, this has inspired novels from people. Right, okay, this is great. I love the way that everyone's talking. Smashing. Thanks very much for joining, everybody. I hope it's been useful. If it starts a conversation in the comments, keep it going. We can all learn. So thanks very much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.